Hello, everyone, and welcome to Inspire. We are so excited you are joining us for the premiere of season 3.
Woo! We are
Yes, we
so
made it.
excited.
Yes, we made it. Hope you
Yes,
all
we
had an
did. We have,
amazing summer.
oh my goodness. Yeah, I hope everyone had an amazing summer. We are looking forward to season 3. We are so excited about our guest tonight. We've had some amazing guests over the past 2 seasons, but we are truly, truly excited about this season of Inspire.
Yes, we are. And we're so happy to have here with us the Honorable Ted Green, who is the mayor of East Orange. And it's so amazing when you look at his bio, a man of service, and the fact that he has committed his life to that. And so we are so happy to find out more about his journey and what inspires him and how he's been an inspiration to others.
Awesome. Let's bring him in.
Let's bring him in. Hello there.
How you doing? How's everyone?
How are you? Welcome to Inspire. For those who don't know, my name is Shaw Hayes. And to the left of me, whichever way you're looking, is Kiana. She's a founder, and I'm the host of Inspire. And we're so honored to have you here.
I am honored to be here this evening, and I thank both of you for just giving me the opportunity to come on the show tonight and find out what we are doing, what Ted Green is about, and some of the things we have for the future of this great city that we live in.
Yes,
Wonderful.
thank you. Thank you, Mayor Green, for being a part, coming on, sharing your journey with us. We are so excited to jump right in and start this discussion. So I'll start by asking you, what did you want to be when you were a child? Like what did you want to do?
I don't, when you were a young boy going into your teenage years, but I knew one thing I wanted to do. I wanted to be successful, right? And when you're a kid, you want to be a police officer, a firefighter. In my family, my dad was a teacher for over 34 years. My mother, early childhood education. I watched my grandparents, how they got involved in the community. I don't know. I used to dream to be a firefighter. I used to dream to be a karate action hero. And then when you start getting a little older, you want to be the doctor or a lawyer. I had so many dreams that what I wanted to be, but I can tell you, I never thought in a million years that I would be the mayor of this city.
Wow.
When I was young, just didn't think, of being elected official. But I probably wanted to be an action hero, and my goal was to be a firefighter.
Really? So when you decided for yourself in terms of politics and what it looked like for you, like when was the thing that made you say, okay, I think I'm going to put my hand in it? When did it ring for you that you wanted to even put your hand into politics?
And thank you for that question. And listen, when I was a young guy growing up, I watched my dad and my mom. Very grateful for them, who always was involved in civics. My dad was a person as an educator, always took kids under his wing, always went out on the weekends and made sure that we was involved in different activities from back then we had the soup kitchens and we had the rummer cells, but they call them closed cells now. My mom, who always stayed involved in things in her church, and my grandmother and grandfather, they always was involved. We got a blackout.
Uh-oh. This storm been shot. The devil busy, but we ain't gonna let him win. That's all right.
Oh my God, crazy. We got a blackout.
Wow. Yeah. I was just saying, I wonder whether or not this storm was gonna get the best of us in all of this, but
Yeah, I apologize, but if y'all want to continue this,
we can't see your amazing face. That's the only thing, and this is a visual show.
Yeah, but it's okay. We ain't gonna let the devil stop.
Do you have a light, like a camera, like a flashlight or something that you can illuminate on your face? Because I think the fact that you're still connected is good.
Yeah.
Let me see this thing. This is unbelievable, man. The whole building's out. Yeah. Oh,
so hold it underneath your face. Hold it underneath. You can put it like right underneath you, but turn the phone up. Yeah. You put it like face down on the table. Put it face down on the table to let it illuminate. There you go. We're gonna make it work. Okay. Right? Just like that. Just like that.
Wow.
Just like that. We're gonna make it work just like that. And so if your staff got other flashlights to bring in, we'll work with that. But until then, you still look good and you're on camera. So
okay. And listen, if y'all want me to come back on in the future, y'all got me. front and center. But let me just finish out. It was basically my parents. I watched how hard they worked. I watched how hard they was engaged in the community when I was a very young man. My father always always inspired us. Whatever we do in our community, that we're part of the community. He stressed that. When we was very young, if we walked down the street on Steuben Street and we saw a piece of paper or a can on the street, my father would say, "Hey, little Teddy," or Denise, which was my sister, "Go pick that can up, that paper up." And I used to say to him, "Dad, why do I have to pick it up?" And I didn't throw it down.
Right.
He said, "Pick it up only because it's your community. And if you're part of the community, it don't matter where you at on your block or around the block. You see something on the ground, yeah, you shouldn't want to pick it up because you didn't throw it there, but you have a commitment to the community." So he really stressed that. And be honest with you, no one in my family ever got involved in politics. Like not one, not uncle, no aunt. My oldest brothers who God called him, they never got involved in politics. And I just saw that there was some voice that needed, especially when I started really reading about how politics was taking part and some of the issues in our community. And really, like I said, what it really inspired me, that my father constantly said that you have to be a part of your community. You have a responsibility to people, because I stand on so many other people's shoulders. He stressed.
Well, and so I guess speaking about your father and impact he's had in your life, what do you know what was about him that made him want to be such a man of service, and that he instilled that into you as well?
Well, look, first of all, my father was a godly person. My father came up in the fruit of Islam, to be honest with you, but he went back to Christianity. But I believe that my father upbringing through his father, he's a military guy, served over, I think 1, 2, 3 tours in the Army. And so they came up, and he was strict. My grandfather on my dad's side was very strict. So I think that my dad took that same instructional and guidance, but now he wasn't as hard as my grandfather was on him. And I think he took a different approach in terms of, raising my sister and my 2 brothers and I in a different fashion. But his demeanor was always about, I constantly always heard him say that if you're going to be a part of this community and this world, that you have to leave a blueprint. He constantly always said you have to be a part of your community. I watched him, how he took in other young men who didn't have fathers. I watched my mom embrace young ladies in the community who was my sister's friends, and they guided them and mentored them. So I kind of watched that, and he never got involved in politics. My father used to always say, "I don't want to get involved in politics. I like doing what I'm doing." And as I grew up, I saw Aide in the community when I met a gentleman named Ron Saladin, who was involved in politics, and he took me at the age of 14, and my father asked him to also be that man of the community and a mentor to me to help raise me, because my father, even though he done a heck of a job, he surrounded me around other men and strong women to also embrace me and guide me and help me, become who I am today.
And I would assume that him instilling that discipline on you is what drove you to want to get into martial arts.
Oh, without a doubt. In my house, in my dad's home, everybody was studying martial arts. At the age of 4 years old, my father, just because he didn't go to the military, he always felt that being in martial arts would give us our discipline, would give us self-esteem, the respect factor. We always had that because my dad didn't play, and but also he just wanted us to be structured. He didn't want us to not be able to also defend ourselves, but more so having discipline, because martial arts really teaches you discipline. It teaches you how to deal with things. It teaches you about self-restraints and different other characteristics about who you are. So I'll be honest with you, I'm very grateful. I'm very honored, and I'm thankful for my father for really embracing me, because he taught me along with other teachers. But the martial arts have been a way of life for me.
And I know that you started a program that was helping teach children in far as the martial arts portion of it. But what is about from not even just that in terms of cultivating young minds, and what does it mean to you to help them embrace some life of discipline so that they can be successful in their lives?
Right. And thank you so much for that question. Listen, coming in martial arts, like I said, was discipline. And look, I have an obligation to humanity also, right? And when you get a certain age in your life and a certain age of understanding the importance of strong African American men and men of color being a part of our young men's lives, we cannot not think of how we have to help our young people get where I'm at. Listen, again, I take pride in making sure that I reach out because somebody reached out to me. I think it's important for young people to have structure. One thing I learned about myself, if I didn't have structure, I probably wouldn't be where I'm at today. And I want to give that back to any young man and the young ladies too. I don't want to exclude our young ladies because they are part of who we are, and without any of them, we wouldn't be where we are today or be here. So I think structure, discipline, self-esteem, self-pride, that we have to drive that in our young men, and also just teach them about restraints, right? Because a lot of times when you think about certain situations that either get you in trouble or get you out of trouble. But even though I knew martial arts and still do, I never was a troublemaker. I was very humble. I was very kind of quiet, people would tell you. And I never took my art and displayed it in a way to harm people or show bulliness. I always did it in a way to show people and our young people that it's just a way of life.
Yeah, which helps you in your mind more so than you trying to use it for anything else.
Body.
Yeah. So when you think about, like, in terms of your position, I mean, everyone, holds a high standard for being a mayor, but when you have young children who are looking for aspirations in life, whether it's, a doctor, lawyer, and going into politics, what do you do to find their own inspiration so that they can figure out what they want to eventually do, even if it doesn't lead them into politics?
Quite often, being the mayor, especially here in the city of Easton, I'm very grateful to be the 14th mayor. I'm grateful that this community who has really, this community raised me and nurtured me, right? This community gave me a foresight to just be a part of it and want to do something to improve our community. And when I talk to any young person or any person that are interested in doing things in the city, I always say to them, you have to have passion, right? You have to have passion for something. If you have passion for something that you want to do, I don't think no one can stop you from doing what you want to do. I always do inform young people that, look, all of us have a responsibility, and all of us somehow, through the sight of God, is that he put us here for a reason. And the reason he put us here, that we have characteristics and we have something to offer this world. But you have to have passion about what you want to do, and you have to believe in what you want to do. It don't matter where you came from. I quite often tell people, although my mom and dad did very well by me and by my sisters, but my parents struggled,
You lost your audio.
Am I still on?
Okay, there you
You're
go.
still there.
Okay. So, I always tell kids, all of us sometimes go through trials and tribulations, and sometimes we go through struggles. And then some people may not have to go through the struggles that we go through. But at the end of the day, my camera, is it on? Okay. At the end of the day, if you believe in something that you want to do, then have passion and go at it with passion and desire. And don't let all the little setbacks and little things hold you back. Because listen, you ain't the only one that went through trials and tribulations. Look at our ancestors, what they went through to get us where we at today. So I try to just find different ways to uplift our young people, find different ways to try to see what's on their mind.
I think his audio went out again.
Hello to them. I just don't allow So we still there.
So while the mayor gets his, again, it's the weather out here, everyone. So please be patient with us.
It's a tornado watch.
Yeah, definitely a tornado watch. Torrential storms, downpours, flooding. Everything is happening right now here in New Jersey.
There's a lot going on.
We're weathering through it.
And we're pivoting. We're making this happen. And, we have to thank Mayor Green for, being a part of the show, despite all of this weather that we're going through right now.
Hey, listen,
we
ain't letting nothing stop us. We inspired tonight. Y'all inspired me. I don't care if this thing cut off 100 times. I'm with y'all till y'all tell me to go to sleep.
I love it. Yes. So I have a question for you. So you talked about your family wasn't into politics, or they weren't a politician. And Saladin took you under his wing at 14. So how important was he your first mentor? And also, how important is it for our youth to have mentors?
I think it's very important. And honestly, yes, he was probably my first mentor that my father at the age 14, because they knew each other from the BCDC. That was a Pan-African cultural club that they was in. My father was always into culture. He always talks about African family, always talk about African.
I think you did.
We had challenge tonight. Are we still out?
Nope, I think you're back now.
Okay.
And we have to thank Miss Chalet, who's watching. She said, "Stay safe, everyone." Thank you, Miss Chalet.
But I'm gonna go back to my dad. He always was very cultural. We walked in the house. He always put up like black art, because he wanted us to be in tune of who we were. Because when you're a younger kid, and be honest with you, and you sometimes have kids don't understand who they are, and I was, I'm a light-skinned dude, so you hear kids that say, "Oh, shut up, white boy," and because we're younger. But one thing, my father, at an early age, what he did with us, he made sure that our self-confidence and our self-esteem was second to none. He always put black art up. He always sat us at the table and explained to us how powerful we are, how great we are as who black people. He always, my sister was a very and life was unbelievable because of my mom and father. Always said to her how beautiful she was, and she's a queen. And certain things that even in the house we couldn't say to her because my mom was the big queen, she was the other queen, and we was the kings. But he ain't play the kings, saying anything, ruthless to the queens in the house. So listen, my dad was inspiration in many ways because he's an educator. He knew how important it is for us to go out here and understand who we were, because he always said, if you don't know who you are, then you really not going to know who other people are. You have to know yourself before you try to figure out other people. And when he sent me to Ron Saladin, they was both in the same Pan-African studies. They was in that Black Panther movement during the times. My dad was always wearing the dashikis and the pick in his hair. He had a big afro. I'm like, I wish I could grow my afro that big, but it didn't happen. But
so when you thinking in terms of your career, and I guess the full circle has brought you today, and we're talking about the storms we in, name a challenge that happened in your life and how did you overcome it?
Yeah, so I had plenty. So I always share this with people. So in 2002, I lost my sister of an aneurysm.
Oh, wow.
And, right, my sister passed of an aneurysm. She had two sons that was left, the world with these fathers who got to really take on a better responsibility. So when she passed, my mom and I and my dad had to make a decision. And my dad wasn't going to allow his grandkids to be anywhere else. So we took the task on with Ibn and Javon Ibn was born as he has cerebral palsy, right? And he was 4 years old when my sister left. So we had to learn about him. And I didn't want to put all the pressure on my mom and dad. So I actually took full responsibility. And then 8 months later, because of my sister and all of us, how close we were, my youngest brother, Jason, he hung himself in the house. 8 months after my sister, he just couldn't bear what happened, you know. And he was a strong 28-year-old. I always call him my big little brother because I always told him in his life, I said, man, you so smart, you know. And he's like, no, you smart. And when I lost him, a week after burying him, my grandfather died the following Friday, right? And people talk about tragedies, and believe it or not, we buried my grandfather that week. 3 weeks or 4 weeks later, my son and my two sons, my godson and my nephew, they worked at the movie. They got in a car accident, and my godson got killed, right? So I had to take on, my brother passed, he had 4 daughters, and I didn't want my nieces just to be out in the world with, you know how it is when people find out it's 4 pretty little girls, and you know, I didn't want people to take advantage of. So honestly, I took on really 2 more families in my life, and I already had my 2 sons, Eric and Saladin. And I'll be honest with you, it wasn't easy in the beginning because I wanted to take the pressure off my mom and dad. So I took full responsibility, my wife and I. And then with his 4 daughters, I met with, you know, the mother and said, listen, you're not going to have to do this by yourself. I'm here. I'm here, you know, well, 2, because it's 2 different. And I embraced that, you know, but I looked around and I said to God, I said, listen, God, I know for a fact that you kept me in this position of just being a strong dude because of my mom and dad, but also there's a reason why all this is happening. You know, did it bother me? Did it hurt me? Did it take a lot out of me? Without a doubt. Older sister, younger brother, and then my grandfather. So what happened, I got tested during a time that I didn't know what was going on. But one thing I can say to this day, you know, and I said to God quite often when we talk about inspired and talk about, you know, his guidance, if I had to do it all over again, because he wanted me to do it, I would do it all over again. My nephew now, Ibn, I taught him how to walk. My nephew Javon is doing, oh my God, outstanding, working in the music field. My nieces who I've raised, they're doing well. And I'm just grateful that that he you know, I went through something, and I don't think any other person, they went through things too. I don't think I'm the only one in the world that went through something, but that was mostly the trying times of my life, because you look around and say, wow, my older sister going, who used to take care of everything for the family. And then my youngest brother, who he just woke up one morning, he took his daughters to school, right? We don't even, still to this day, he took them to school, he gave his fiance a kiss and blah, blah, blah. My mother said that she saw his coat in the hallway, and next thing you know, she said, wow, Jason didn't go to work today. And he, somehow, whatever was bothering him, he wanted to be out of here. But, you know, thank God we weathered that storm. We're all doing well. I'm proud of what I did, and we'll do it again. And I'm proud of how all 6 of them are living their lives. And I was just a part of it. It wasn't just me. It was the family.
And for anyone that's going through any type of mental health or need someone to talk to, please reach out to someone. Please, please. It's so important. You're not alone. Please reach out to someone before you make any decisions that is life changing, not only for yourself, but for those around you as well. And I just want to say one more thing. D Sharp says Ted Green is a visionary with purpose.
Thank you so much. But I feed off individuals like yourself. Honestly, when that day I walked on your block and you stood out there and you had a conversation with us, And Kiana, honestly, your spirit is unbelievable. And I see
Yes, she
Shay
is.
Hayes. I feel, honestly, I feel how passionate both of you about, inspiring and inspiration. And I'm not just saying that. And
Thank
the
you.
day you reached out to me and said, come on your show, I really I was excited. I really was, because, I don't model myself around being that cocky mayor. I just love the city. I love people. I just want to make a change. I just want to be of importance in somebody's life who look up and say, you know what? The mayor walked down the street and he spoke, or the mayor walked down the street,
Yes.
had a conversation with me, because I'm that type of mayor. I do not
Yes, you
shun
are.
people off. I try very hard. If it's something I'm going to go to, I try to get there. Like tonight, I was not giving up on this daggone. So I'm
Well,
grateful.
let's talk about some of the things that you go through on a daily basis as being the mayor. Like, tell us the exciting parts. I mean, people probably see all the pomps and circumstances of the mayor and being the mayor, but tell us like some of the exciting things about being in your position.
It's fun. I'll be honest with you. I say it every day when I wake up. I look in the mirror, and first of all, I thank God. I'm like, God, thank you so much for giving me this opportunity to serve as a public servant, right? That's why I call myself a public servant, because that's what we are, right?
Yeah.
And listen, being the mayor, to me, I am excited. It's not a day that I don't wake up in the morning thinking about how can I improve the city or somebody's lives, or improve a situation. And I quite often say this as the mayor: the day I lose my drive and the day I lose my passion, I promise you I will walk away. But I have the same. Even when I'm on my second term, and it's a scary thing, I have the same desire, the same passion, the same feel, if it's like it was my first day. And listen, being the mayor is not always easy. I have to govern over close to 1,000 employees. I have to govern over a budget that is $151 million budget. I have to govern over daily services. I have to govern over 65,000 residents who I don't know all of them, but we have a very diverse community. I always tell people I am the mayor for everybody. I don't care what your ethnic group is. I don't care what street you live on. I am the mayor for everybody in this community. And that's how I conduct myself. It don't matter who you are. You call this office, complaining. And sometimes people ain't very nice to the mayor. I get told off sometimes.
Right.
People tell me I ain't doing nothing. The city is the same. But one thing about it, you have to have it's the discipline, what we talked about earlier, but you also have to have compassion. You got to learn how to be a good listener, right? Because sometimes people just want to call and they want to vent. So I learned how to be a good listener, right? Also, and I always pride myself around, if I cannot help you, I would tell you that, look, that is just out of our reach. I can't do that here. I would try to refer you, but I try very hard not. This is what I practice. I don't want to tell people something I cannot do. Now, if it's things I can do, we get it done. But the people here in the city, we got great people in this city. We got great employees who want to see our city grow. We got so many great young people who, over the 3.5 years, and not even that, even when I sat on council, who come back to me and say, man, I went to college, I'm back here, I'm doing great things. So, and sometimes I don't remember their names, but I say, oh yeah. But being a mayor, really, it gives me an opportunity to help. I love being a bridge builder. I always tell people I don't tear bridges down. I build bridges. And I've always been a bridge builder, because when you build a bridge, you network, you connect with people, you give people a sense of, you know what, he cares. And I don't want to be known as that regular politician. I don't. I want to be known as, you know what, the mayor loved this city. He loved the people of this city. And look, we know we can't do everything, but I want folks to know that I tried my best and continue to do my best.
So when you talk about all the multitude of things that you have to do as a mayor and overseeing, like how do you navigate that? Like how do you keep afloat and making sure everything is running, even when it can be chaotic, smoothly enough?
Yes, thank you for that question. Look, we got a great staff here. I have to give my staff credit. You know, my business administrator, my chief of staff, the directors here. Like I said, we got great employees. We work as a team. You know, I quite often tell all my staff we're a team. No, it ain't no I in team. Nobody's bigger than anybody else. Nobody can try to outdo each other. When one of us are falling short, we got to stand up and pick that person up. It's not about us trying to outdo each other. What we have to do is make sure we service the public. We got to make sure that we, as a team, work together. And I think that when you have a team of people that you work with and you trust, I think things go well. We've been very successful in this city by bringing some new initiatives to the city. I have this initiative what we call Mayor on the Block. And what we did coming in, I always heard people say, especially to public officials, "Hey man, I only see y'all when it's time to run for office or
Yeah.
get reelected." And that kind of rung a bell in my brain. I said, you know what? If people think that way, what can I do to improve the way people think about elected officials? So, you know what? I started saying, you know what? We're going to go out. We're going to bring government to the front doors of the people. And then I came up with, guess what? We're going to do Mayor on the Block, right? And Mayor on the Block became a household name. Because I always believe this, right? Look, folks pay our salaries. And I'm so grateful to get a check. And I mean that. I'm grateful. So I'm going to do everything I can to keep my job. But I just said to my team, let's go to the people. Let's go knock on some doors. Let people know and see who you are. And we've been doing it from day one to present. You know, the COVID kicked in and that kind of set us back a little, but we never stopped having that drive in terms of communicating with the folks in this community.
So let me ask the question about, especially for a youth who even thinking about getting into politics, what education do you need? What kind of prior experiences do you need to have your resume look like it is? And what people look for as a leader that you will bring to the table in order for people to want to even elect someone in a position?
Yes. Get involved. I always tell young people if they interested in getting involved in being elected official or public servant, get involved in your community, right? Start doing some things in your community. Start looking at some initiatives that you can do. Start coming out to the council meetings. Start, holding the mayor accountable. Start, have some ideas that you think that can improve the way of life in terms of where you live and the quality of life. And I think it's important for our kids to have a voice, right? They should get involved and have a voice because we're not going to be here forever. So I always encourage young people. Matter of fact, when I first walked into office, I reached out to the school district and I reached out to the student government, and they have what they call a student council. And those young people, they are elected president, vice president, treasurer. When we went to school, everybody trying to run for that, put on your little bow tie and go out there and do your thing. And yes, and I wanted our young people right off the bat of me coming in to know that they have to have a voice, they have to have an input, they have to understand what we're doing when we do redevelopment, what we're doing when it comes to public safety, when we talk about paving our roads and anything in the city, that they have to have a voice because they are here. You in this community, even though you're a freshman, sophomore, you have to have that voice.
So basically, if you went to school for, I don't know, if you wanted to be an engineer, and your main basis of what you're saying in terms of that your involvement in the community is your training box for you to get to a stage where if you want to be in politics, that's the best way to know what's going on around you.
Yes. And thank you for that, Shay. Look, we want our young kids to go to college, right? You should have a degree, right? Or your associate's degree. To be the mayor, actually, the charter don't say that you have to have a degree. right? You don't have to have a degree, but you know, I thank God that I went back to school and further my education and try to do the best I can to make sure that I was very knowledgeable. You know, I'm still paying that student loan back, but I do encourage our young people to always go to college. Now, those who don't go to college, we're trying to find room in the city to get them trades. But I do encourage any young person to go further your education. If you don't go to a 4-year college, go to a junior college. If you don't go to a junior college, then go take some courses up because, you know, you have to understand, even though, you know, you don't need the degree, but you have to have some type of education to understand your role in this government, right? You have to, you know, because you gotta understand a budget and how budget works and how it's structured and your dollar amount and where this money come from and where, you know, where your surplus come from and where this come from. So we want our kids to be now. If not, then take some classes at night and learn government. You know, take up a course in political science. You know, but I encourage young people to get involved in politics because we are going to need them as our future leaders in moving this city, this county, this nation. So I encourage them all the time.
Yes. So I just want to give a quick shout out to D Sharp again. He said Mayor Ted Green will provide opportunities for the residents of East Orange. And also Merva Forrest reached out and says, good evening, Mayor.
Good evening. Good evening. Thank you for coming on with all this rain. We got a blackout in East Orange, but we still here. Thank you. I
still making it happen.
Yes.
So at the top of the show, I can see that we were showing things and quotes that you have said. And so tell me a quote or something that someone said to you that inspired you and what it meant to you.
So I remember, and I always have to kind of go back and reflect on my father and Ron Saladin. I remember one time my dad said the conditions of the people would never change, so they change the condition of themselves. And I kept saying to my father, and then I heard another quote where Ron Saladin said to me, he said, if you're not going to be the rock people to lean on, then move your foot out of the way so other people can get over the rock. So I'm like, huh?
Wow. I lost you. Your audio's out.
The help,
Okay,
right? So I took that. I take all those things that they gave me, and I took them in stride. But so many other quotes. I follow different African American leaders to a T. Like I love Malcolm quotes. I love W.D. Du Bois quotes. I love quotes that Maya Angelou quoted. You know, things like, if there's somebody that tell you who they are, then believe them. Like I love quotes, and sometimes I take those quotes and I used to paste them up on my mirror just to remind myself that all these great leaders and great women and strong women went through more difficulties than probably many of us, and they stood strong. I follow Dr. Martin Luther King. You know, I follow a lot of quotes that he quoted in terms of movements. Just so many individuals I try to mimic because, you know, they was our models. They was our role models. They was our leaders.
Well, if you had to think of something in terms of addressing our youth who now are going into a new year of school under the challenges they have, what would be something that you would say to them in terms of it being framed in a quote? Like, how would you position that to them to kind of encourage and inspire them?
Well, you know, I constantly tell them they are heroes because of the circumstances with this, you know, this COVID. They had to come from in-person learning 2 years ago into remote learning, and many of them had to change the way they lived, change the way they were being educated. I constantly tell them that, you know, y'all are the engines behind moving this world forward because the challenge y'all just had shows how great y'all are. It shows y'all tenacity. It shows how resilient you are. It shows that you, as young people, can get through any challenge if you made it through this COVID. So as the older people say, keep on trucking, young man. Keep on
Yeah.
trucking, young lady, because you're gonna get there and get it done. And I quite often tell them that. I mean, look, I always tell young people how great they are. No matter who they are. I tell the young ladies how beautiful they are, right? And I think that the more that we as men and women and our community, and even listen, we know young people sometimes laugh it off and don't think about it till they get a little older, and sometimes we as leaders, we have to be very careful how we say it, because sometimes things could be misinterpreted. I always remind our young people how beautiful they are, how great they are, how brilliant they are, how they smile, gonna light up a room. I'm always encouraging it. I just do that because I'm not letting our young people off the hook in this city. I'm not, and they know me. They know Mr. Green. You want $2 from me? You giving me 5 minutes? Yeah, I'm gonna give you this $2, but you're gonna talk to Mr. Green for about 4 or 5 minutes. Mr. Green, come on, yeah, because they'll see me at the store. Mr. Green, you got $5. You know what $5 is, right? That's 7 minutes, bro.
Yeah, that's true.
You gotta give me 7 minutes.
And that's a great thing to instill in them, because a lot of times they want to just get stuff without actually putting the work in.
Yeah,
And you got to let them know.
No.
Yeah, no, we don't do that.
No,
I want to give a shout out to one of our previous guests, Rasheen Kilo Pugh. He says, "Hello, family. Those quotes became the fabric of who we aspire to be."
Yes, it is. Thank you.
Yeah, I love that. So when you look over your life and you say in terms of right now or presently, what is one of your greatest achievements?
Wow. I think really, wow, my greatest achievements, when I actually was able to, one of my greatest achievements. So it's many, I had, because I ran.
Top three.
Right. Well, to be honest with you, coming to mayor, I am every day I float, not physically, but I remember walking past when I was about 17, and I walked by the pictures of the mayors that was on the wall, right? And I said to a guy named Vernon Pullins, the gentleman that was walking with us one day when we was campaigning, and I said, V, man, one day I'm gonna be on that wall. And we was just joking. We was just joking. And then when I walk by some days, I say, man, God, I claimed that when I was 17, 18, and here I am on that wall. And I am very honored. I'm serious. And I worked hard, honestly, to get here, but I'm honored to be the mayor. I take so much pride and just being the mayor. I mean, being a council member. I remember when I became a council person, I was honored to be a council person to serve this community, right? And I was more honored also 2 years ago or a year ago when I did my State of the City, and my oldest son Eric was able to bring me on. He introduced me before I spoke. And it brought tears to my eyes to listen to him, how he talked about his father and how I inspired him. And he said that out of all the heroes in the world that he can mimic or he can mirror, he said, I wouldn't give it up no time if it wasn't my father. And that really, that whole day showed that all the hard work that my grandfather, my father, and then here I am, and inspired my oldest son, Eric, it spoke volumes, and that day meant so much. I floated for about 6 months. I couldn't come down because it meant so much to me, but so many other things, honestly.
So when it's all said and done, how would you like to be remembered? What would you want people to say that you left behind as a legacy?
Wow. I just, I think about that sometimes, when you are a mayor and you get an opportunity to sit down and ponder on the future and when you're not here. Well, I ain't ready to leave yet, but I do think about it. And I say to myself, I just want people to say, you know what? Ted Green, 3 things. He loved this city, he inspired me, and I got something out of him being this mayor. And I want people to remember when you say Ted Green that I did everything I can to not only not let this community down, not let our ancestors down, not let our young people down, because there's so many times when they look up to elected officials and other different folks who they admire. Sometimes they get let down. I'm not perfect. I'm not. I'm far from being perfect, but I work hard on perfection. I work hard on encouraging. I work hard on, as I said earlier, being a bridge builder. So I want kids to know that I was that bridge builder.
And last, before we let you go, I guess one actually, I'm assuming as a mayor, you have plenty of goals for the cities, but what is a goal personally that you want to accomplish for yourself?
So
I think the mayor's it went out again, but while he's coming back on, let's give a shout out to Colin, who's tuned in all the way from the Carolinas. Thank you for watching Inspire and being a part of the show. I think the mayor may have had a blackout on his end.
Might have lost some good, but we almost made it there. Well, that's great.
Almost did it. We were that close.
Yeah, but it's great because we were still at the wrap up of what we normally just to ask people to kind of seal what they normally would want to do in their lives and leaving us with some parting words. But we'll definitely get him back on again because I know with initiatives that he wants to, and I will hope that we can maybe have a youth that he has inspired or somebody he's looking to mentor come on, because I think that would be a great way to kind of allow that to really come full circle, to have someone that he is working with that is a youth that we can have him be on there with. So we can do that next time.
Yes.
But until then, everybody, season 3 is going to be amazing. And I'm so excited for the fact that literally this roundup of people that we got coming up is going to be so great. And we are so thankful for Mayor Ted Green for coming on, weathering through a real storm.
Real storm, dangerous storm at that.
Yeah, and it just speaks volumes to the fact that whatever happens in your life, if you keep persevering, you can make it happen. This man spoke, manifested in his own life to become mayor, and he did. He sat through this interview with a flashlight of his cell phone on here with a blackout in the back of him. So keep pushing, keep dreaming bigger, let your dreams be the wildest thing you could ever amaze you, that it scares you. I believe that. You're always say the dreams don't scare you. They're not big enough. So I believe
they're not big enough.
They're not big enough. So you all keep being amazing, keep being an inspiration to each other. And until then, you guys, be blessed.
And follow us. Follow us on Instagram. Follow us on Facebook. Follow us on YouTube. Tell a friend. Help us. Help us get this platform.
Put the handles up.
Follow
Inspired by and honest.
Follow.
We're gonna send the shirts, right?
Yeah. We still have the shirts, but support us. We need your support. We appreciate everyone that has taken time over the last 2 seasons, almost 40 guests that we've had on this show. And we have a full episode between now and December. But we need your support. We need you to help, to share. We need you to help to send people our way. If someone inspired you, let us know. Let us know. We do this together. As you say, we inspire together. We truly inspire together.
And if you also want to financially support the show, make sure you Cash App at $ Kiana Tennant. As you can see, it's right there below. This platform is only meant to use as a way to inspire our youth and anyone who needs to be inspired. But in order to do that, there is some financial aspects that go into it, but everything that goes into this show gets put back into the show. So if you want to support the show, again, right below is $ Kiana Tennant. And again, follow us so that you can, be inspired or tell us about someone who's inspired you in your life.
Yes. And with that, please, everyone, stay safe, and stay safe.
Yes, Lord. All right. Bye, everyone. Good night.